cloud of witnesses that surround us, I believe that they also come and they're here to pour oil in our lamps. The whole chapter of Zechariah 4 is a prophetic end time blueprint. If there's any chapter that gives you the blueprint for the end times of the day we're living in, is Zechariah 4. What it shows is the two anointed ones pouring oil into the branch, which is the seven eyes of the Lord. And that is when Jesus was transfigured on the mountain. But that was also a prophetic type and shadow of tabernacles. I believe it was on tabernacles. Some people say it was on tabernacles that event happened, Transfiguration, or it was very close to it. And that's why Peter said, Lord, let's build 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Elijah, and one for Moses. It was to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. But that's a prophetic type of the end time bride, the Transfiguration. So look at the pattern there. You have the 2 witnesses dispensing oil into the menorah, the 7-branch candlestick. These 7 eyes become illuminated. His whole body becomes a lamp, and his face becomes bright as the noonday sun. His garments glistening white. That's the end time revelation of the bride. Jesus in his first coming was a prophetic pattern of the manifestation of him after he ascended, manifesting through his mystical body, the tree of life. That is the corporate bride. That transfiguration on the mountain now is going to happen in a corporate people, the bride. And it's the same pattern. The eyes of the Lord, the plumb line, and the hand of Zerubbabel. These 7 will be glad. Shouts of grace, grace to it. You're going to be so illuminated with the light of Jesus, with the light of Christ. You know, it's going to be even more powerful and glorious than Peter walking down the street and his shadow healing people. It's not going to be you. It's going to be Christ in you. I mean, the scriptures, they're not just teasing us when they say, not of yourselves. It's a gift that he lavished on us by the kind intention of his will and all wisdom and insight. He made known to us the mystery of his will by the riches of his kindness. He lavished on us this grace, not of yourselves, so that no one can boast. We just have to say yes to it. We got to hear the word of the Lord and say, you know what, Lord, I don't have an excuse. Either you are the Lord, this is right, or it's not. And we're going to be judged based on that, based on whether we stepped into the precious and magnificent promises that by his divine power, we would become partakers of the divine nature. That's the transfiguration. We become like what happened to John G. Lake, a Christ man. Remember, he had the 3rd baptism. He had the healings and the miracles, and he had the ministry that was doing all the signs and wonders and miracles. And he's like, there's something more. He's like, my soul I'm longing for God to fill me. There's something more of him. And then he got baptized in fire. And then he stood up and he said, now I'm a Christ man. This is what I've been looking for. I think he said something like, now my soul is satisfied. I am now a Christ man. And then he goes and he puts a deadly plague on his hand. And he said, death can't coincide with life. Put it under a microscope. Watch it fry in my hand. We got to be diligent to, when we hear this kind of stuff, we got to respond to it, because it's our response that is going to determine how much of the grace we can apprehend and how soon. I do believe there are a lot of people that are going to come around later, but don't you want to jump on board this train as quick as possible, get as much oil in your lamp as possible, get those 7 spirits burning right now, get raptured right now like Enoch? This is the rapturing faith. That Enoch is the first fruits. It says Enoch had a revelation that he was pleasing to the Lord, and by faith he was taken up. He had a revelation that God loves me. I love him. I'm going to spend time with him now. I'm going to get close to him. I'm going to hear what he has to say. And I love him so much. When he says something, I'm going to obey it right away, because I know his words are sweeter than honey. His words are the light of my soul. Or you keep eating stale bread and giving these Babylonian church pimps all your money and your time and your energy. Let them harvest your time, your energy, and your money.